Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercising my first member rights vlog style, and what you just heard was some very beautiful drumming on these very beautiful drums. These drums, look at these fucking drums. I mean, it's a pretty standard set, but damn, I just love looking at it. So, it's a Gretsch set, got a nice little shiny, silvery framework. Let's go around here. Got a little double bass pedal right there, as you can see. Got your hi-hat, your snare, your two toms up here, your floor tom down here, your ride, your crash, and of course, everything is better with more cowbell. Anyway, when people listen to music or are critical of music, usually with drums, they will take what they hear on face value and say that they're either good or shitty. This video is just going to be me explaining what I believe it takes to be a good drummer, or at least a good drummer in a band. Given that drums are my main instrument, guitar is more of a hobby. I've played for almost 10 years, and I'm going to college to study drums. I feel I do have room to talk about this. Really all it takes is the ability to count to 4 properly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You don't really need too much technicality. All that matters is that you keep time. Usually when you have a drummer, depending on how insecure he is, he tends to be kinda show-offy. He'll throw in fills like this. At the most random of times as a means of saying, oh, I'm a good drummer, I just want to make sure you guys remember that, and please don't kick me out. You can play something as simple as this. And still be a decent drummer. All that matters is that you keep good time and not try to show off. If you're playing a song like Beverly Hills by Weezer, for example, live with a band, you don't want to be a show-offy douchebag and play it like this. The main reason I'm making this video is because some people, mainly metal elitists, tend to think that unless a drummer is able to play something like this, then they're a shit drummer. The biggest point I want to get across is that fast drumming doesn't mean good drumming. I'm not trying to cut down on all the extreme metal drummers who are able to play a blast beat, probably better than me, but there are drummers that I still find to be very talented that don't need to rely on speed. One of my favorite drummers is Bobby Blotzer of Rat. Is he a speedy drummer? No. What I think makes him a good drummer is the cymbal rhythms and fills that he throws in. He throws those in at such appropriate times also. Which leads me into the next point I want to make. People also seem to think that unless a drummer throws in a bunch of crazy fills, and they have to be crazy all the time, then they are a shit drummer. Again, when you're the drummer in a band, you don't want to show off all the time. Sure, the drummer is one of the most important parts of the band, if not the most important part, but that doesn't give you the excuse of upstaging your bandmates. The singer and maybe the guitarist, not saying they are more important, will get extremely offended and may want to have you kicked out for being an upstaging, show-offy douche. It's not because they think you're a shit drummer by any means, otherwise they wouldn't have let you in the band in the first place. But you don't want to upstage your bandmates. Unless the song is like a drum feature, like the song is written to have these really big, epic drums like a Buddy Rich song, or even with like, you know, a really big and prominent drum solo, then those are really the only times you can really go crazy when you're playing in a band. Other than that, you really need to sort of lay low. Remember, the drums are the backbone of the band, and if you try to be too upfront, it can be seen as really show-offy. Sometimes the best fills are the most simple. Take this for example. That was Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone by Cinderella. Is that a really complex fill that you just heard by Mr. Freddie Curry? No. But does it work? Yes. If you don't think you can play something, don't bother playing it. That's why you almost never see me playing any extreme shit, because I don't have the stamina for it. You have to know your limitations. As simple of a fill as the one I played was, you don't want to throw in something too over the top, especially in a power ballad. Otherwise, you'll ruin the mood of the song. Limit the number of crazy complex fills you use for every song. Maybe use 2 at the most. This is the fastest fill you hear in Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. That fill doesn't come in until before the last chorus. It's like a build-up. Have your fills build up throughout the structure of the song. My next point, know the style. If you're playing jazz, for just an example, you don't want to play something like this. That doesn't work. It kills the mood of the song. If you're gonna play jazz or Latin or funk, you don't want to throw in anything that sounds too rock and roll or too metal. It also helps if you're going to be a drummer and take pride in it. It also helps to be a more versatile musician and know more than just one style of music. While you should know your limitations, like I said earlier, people will see you as a more credible musician if you break out of your comfort zone every once in a while. While I would love to play in a hard rock or metal band, preferably nothing too extreme like death metal, I do have the ability to play other musical styles in my back pocket. You get the idea. Getting back to speed, one thing people don't usually take note of is that the faster you play, the more potential you have to slow down. You'll always want to stay in time with the rest of the band. If you're the drummer in a band, you never want to slow down. The shittiest drummers all slow down. Which brings me to my next point. A lot of people have this misconception that if a drummer plays a simple beat, then they are shit. Here's what I define as a shitty drummer. Someone who slows down, is uncharismatic in their playing, and tries to be uber awesome all the time. An example of a drummer I find to be kinda shitty is Meg White of the White Stripes. No, it's not because she is a female. If you look around, you will find many good female drummers, such as Roxy Petrucci of Vixen, Cindy Blackman, who has played with Lenny Kravitz, Mercedes Lander of Kitty, and Linda McDonald of my personal favorite all-female metal band, Phantom Blue. I find Meg White to be shitty because her playing just seems uninspired. That's really my main complaint. I like Jack White as a musician, but I never really cared for the White Stripes, to be honest. But at the same time, a drummer doesn't have to be like fucking Mike Portnoy or Neil Peart in order to be good. Sure, I love them both, and Portnoy is my favorite drummer, but talent can come in different kinds of packages. Peter Criss may not have been a particularly phenomenal drummer, especially compared to Eric Carr, but he at least kept good time, wasn't over the top in his playing, and didn't try to upstage the rest of Kiss. It still kind of boggles my mind, and I think I mentioned this in my What's Wrong with Avenged Sevenfold video, how people make the Rev out to be a shitty drummer. Was he over the top? No. Did he ever slow down? No. Did he know his band's style and stay true to it? Yes. That, to me, is not a shitty drummer. That's all I gotta say. Hope this video helped give you a better understanding of drumming and maybe even gave you some advice for your drumming if you're a drummer watching this. Hope you're doing well, take care, and have a nice day. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.